Candace Owens.
Love her.
Interesting turn of events with her the last few months.
Love her. Mm-hmm.
You are a fan of hers?
You know, I'm a fan of people who like to I'm a fan of people who like to drop the smoke and then turn it to somebody else and then make people believe them.
Yeah.
It's like that's a talent, baby. You just gonna allow people. I mean, you just gonna hope people forget that you said George Floyd died on his own.
Yeah. Now, people don't know who she is. Candace Owens is a conservative, black conservative commentator, very controversial. I've been following her for about 6-7 years now. You guys know I am not a fan of hers. I've been very critical of her for years on this podcast, not because of her conservative beliefs, but more so to some of the dangerous things she said about that. Look, I'm gonna say right now, I have no problem with anyone. I don't care if it's a black, white, being a conservative. Your beliefs, your beliefs. And you have every right to being what you want to believe in. I mean, we're not a monolith. You know what I'm saying? You do what you want. But I've always said, but the problem with Candace Owens is that I've always believed she's a grifter. She's always an armchair for the Republican Party because all her rhetoric was, well, Democrats are bad, Republicans are good, vote for us. Boom, that's it. And I've been critical about her, especially when it comes to politics as a whole. But she's been very critical now as of late, especially with pertaining to the Gaza issue in the Middle East, of Gaza and Israel. Most folks on the conservative side obviously support Israel. She's been critical of Israel and been very pro. I guess I want to say pro Gaza, maybe just pro anti-genocide. I would call that, and it's gotten her in trouble. She got fired from the Daily Wire. Of course, that's owned by Ben Shapiro. Who Ben Shapiro is obviously a Jewish, married to a Jewish person as well too. They had a lot of infighting there, which went public. So, I want to ask you this: what do you make of Candace Owens? Like, I want to say a face turn, but what do you make of this whole like all of a sudden this sudden change in at least in some of the rhetoric she's been saying?
My lady said it best. It's an election year. She's being used. It's an election year. She's being used to spin minds like they normally do. You know, we know that shout out to Malcolm X. We know that the black community don't listen to actual politicians. They listen to entertainers, charlatans. That's what they listen to. So if that's the case, yeah, you know, it's like, all right. I know I've been saying this for like the last 2 or 3 years, but let me get back on the black side and say, you know, guys, you know, accept me, make me great. And you know, I feel a sense of sorrow when it comes to black media and publications. When you have, as the Breakfast Club did, when you have Candace Owens on and you want to avoid accountability. She has to be accountable for her words, but you want to avoid them. She has to be accountable for saying Breonna Taylor deserved to be killed. She has to be accountable for saying George Floyd killed himself. She has to be accountable.
Yeah.
You just can't let her come on your show leading with, oh, black people don't like you, or even Joe Budden, same thing. Black people don't like you. No, you see, that's where you have journalism and podcasting. Two different things. Podcasting, you're just going to ask, you're just going to talk, have fun. Journalism.
That's my questions.
Journalism, we're having Candace Owens on. Great. All right. Candace, listen, we're going to get right to it. George Floyd killed himself. Can you explain? Get right to it. Get right to the hate and why people hate her. Not so much as, oh, well, she's a polarizing figure. Explain why. Right. But we have this, our black publications, these drifters, as you mentioned, they're afraid to go to the Roland Martins. They're afraid to go to the people that have the knowledge to be able to challenge and say no. I find it interesting also. Asking for peace is negative. Well, listen, you have two people warring. Can we have no? Hell no. We're wiping them out. Okay. I don't want to partake. I don't want to partake. Oh, well, pick a, I'm not picking a side. I'm Switzerland. because you don't want me to pick a side. You won't respect me picking a side. Okay? We have a situation currently, right now, United States of America. We have a homeless crisis. We have an immigration crisis. Okay? That is costing millions of taxpayer dollars, right? But we can find money for Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And we can find money for Israel. And that's very concerning because my tax-paying dollar.
That's your opinion, right?
It's my opinion.
It's funny because that's where a lot of pro-Trump people will agree with you on that because they feel the same way. A lot of the hardcore MAGA folks will say the same thing also. Why are we getting money to Ukraine? Why are we paying money to Israel?
We can't find money to repair the damage to the black community. We can't find it. We can't even say they said repair. We can't put repair and Asians together. But we can find money. We can find money 2 times. We can find money for food.
And then some.
To send over to Israel. And then find money for missiles. To send over to both. Right? But when we're asking here, like, oh, listen, can you handle the immigration crisis? Can you handle the student loan debt? What about reparations? What about no, we're good. I said this to you. A broken clock is right twice a day. Mm-hmm. So your Candace Owens may be saying some things, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can get with that. That doesn't mean I like her.
Exactly. Thank you.
Doesn't mean I like her. She said one thing out of 300 that I said, oh, you got one on me. I come to you on that side.
I was telling some folks, I was like, like my mother is one of my best friends, and I disagree with her about 30% of the time. The things she says, doesn't mean I don't love me less. They ain't gonna change anything. I mean, the thing Candace Owens said in the past, it is what it is. What I don't like, and this is why what I'm avoid as a black man, you as well too, is that she's trying to be black now. This kind of thing, dude. I don't want to get into that rhetoric because what you're saying there is that black folks think one way and that's it. So in essence, you're actually hurting yourself by saying that because you're saying that black folks only listen to hip hop. No, we are not a monolith.
Correct.
I'm a black man and listen to all kinds of music. Listen to metal for crying out loud. I played a metal band for many years. Okay, but also black culture too. Also, we are all different shades and sides of and different interests and stuff. And I don't want to get to that rhetoric. We have black folks who are intelligent. We have black folks who are fucking stupid.
I love it.
AKA Candace Owens. So allow her to be black and stupid.
You allow her. See, you say allow. See, I don't want black publications to allow her. They're allowing her, and it's pissing me off because they have. Shout out to my man, Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. And if you're Charlamagne the God or you're Joe Budden, you have this person on, you hold their feet to the fire like you do your Joe Bidens, your Kamala Harris's, you hold their feet to the fire.
Well, Charlamagne was a little disappointed because Charlamagne, not necessarily a journalist, but he has a tendency to ask the tough questions, and he didn't do it there. He didn't do it there.
Again,
on Club. Yeah.
It's very peculiar. Very interesting who he decides to do a deep dive on and who he decides to give softball stuff to.
Fam, he was tougher on Hillary Clinton than he was on Candace Owens.
And Joe Biden.
And Joe Biden too.
Like, 1,000%. So it makes me feel, Denny, and I don't say that often, feel. It's about feel, not fact. Right, not fact, but feel. Fact I feel that it was a favor. Charlamagne doing a favor for Candace. I feel because you bringing on a woman that said two people died on their own and not by police brutality. You are co-signing by you not challenging that and bringing her on, not challenging that. You're basically disrespecting those families, Breonna Taylor's and George Floyd's. By not having her explain why she thought that was okay to say George Floyd was a drug addict and he was going to die anyway. disrespectful of the highest order. You shouldn't be given a microphone. You should be ostracized. How dare you? We all saw what happened on camera. And yes, not everybody that's black or has a people of color, we all think the same. You put 20 people in a room, you'll have conservative, you'll have Catholic, you'll have Buddhist, you'll have Islam,
and all black, and all black, yeah.
All black, you'll have people listen to Lincoln rap, you have people listen to heavy metal, you have people listen to freaking Nirvana, you have people listen to No Doubt, you have people listening to Paramore. It's not, we're not gonna have the same thought process. However, I do want my politicians, whoever's in charge, tell me what you're gonna do for people that look like me. Yeah. And then if you don't, I'm done with you. That's all. It's very simple. It's not hard. Whether it's low level, your mayors, your mayors, your legislative, your anybody. It's like, yeah, what are you gonna do for us? Nothing. All right, cool. I ain't gonna vote for you. That's all.
Yeah,
that's it. It's quite simple. You want to vote your interests. You want to vote who's gonna do what. It shouldn't matter. Now, mind you, at the same time, it's like, well, these conversations with voting and everybody, they're all saying it like, okay, well, I don't want to vote for him, so I'm not gonna vote at all. I'm not gonna, I don't like either choices, so I'm not gonna vote for all.
Right.
So it's like those are conversations that you're not going to get the best candidate, but are your interests going to be met? That's the other question. So right now, I applaud Candace Owens for being able to literally drop the smoke, disappear from hey black to black power. And some people, like, don't get me wrong, in the zoo, I call it the zoo. Mm-hmm. I'll go into the videos that are online that are being shared, and I'll go into the comment section and read. Majority of these folks are saying the same thing. Like, Candace, okay, I agreed with 1 point. That doesn't mean I like you. That's it. So God bless her, and God bless she can find a black platform that's going to allow her to say the things that she's been saying on the Daily Wire. She build a network by herself like Club Shay Shay, like Shannon Sharp? No, I don't think she has the enough of a fan base by herself.
She got a base, but I don't know if it's
a million followers, all that. Again, that's all great. Once again, do I think she can pull a Shannon, leave Skip Bayless, leave an FS1, and then go do something on YouTube?
She's too polarizing.
Thank you. That's all. She just says things that just will not add up and will not carry over, and I don't think that's best. That's good for her growth.
All I will say is this, and we'll close with here, is that I always tell folks, regardless of political ideology, regardless of whatever you may think, I'm always open to the conversation. This podcast, I've had them all the time. I've had on conservatives, liberals, black conservatives, you name it, doesn't matter. To me, it's about the open, productive dialogue conversation. As long as we're having productive conversations, as long as your intentions are noble, you may have different ideologies into that, but as long as your intentions are noble, you're not some racist son of a bitch. I'm game with that. Like I listen. I'm a center left guy. I mean, I was raised a little more conservative, but I'm definitely a center left guy. But I do listen to conservative media once in a while to see what they're saying, because you don't learn by not listening.
Oh, you definitely want to do that. You definitely want to hear from both sides of the chamber,
right,
because
but I am selective on both sides of who I listen to based on the productive. If they're having I love Patrick Beck-David, for example, the PVD podcast, he's a center right guy. But he has on many people with different backgrounds on his podcast
all the time.
He just had on Stephen A. Smith on his podcast yesterday.
All the time.
Phenomenal conversation yesterday. I watched. He's had on liberal guys, conservative guys, you name it. Guys, he's had on Candace Owens on the show.
Patrick Bett probably has does journalistic research.
Yeah.
To the highest order that I've seen in a while.
And a lot of times with him and his panel, I disagree with his panel most of the time. But it's not the point. The point is I'm still learning about what they're saying. That way I know exactly where you're coming from.
Exactly. You have to know what the other side is thinking, and then you have to be able to try to get an understanding. But it's the cycle. The same cycle that continues over and over again.
Yeah.
A war. Do we support the war? Even then, like I'm a history buff, so I've done. I watched Oppenheimer.
I still need to watch that. I still gotta watch.
Yeah, I watched Oppenheimer, and then I did I watched some documentaries, and just the understanding of you. This is history, so look at it as you want, right?
Yeah.
World War II, the United States decided to drop an atomic bomb on a city that wasn't a military city.
Right.
So that would be like the equivalent of, now mind you, which is again, I'm thinking back, I'm like, wait, hold on. Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, which is a military pretty much facility where they were aiming at, right?
Yeah.
So okay. But then you come back and you bomb an innocent city that has no army military, no army military presence whatsoever.
Yeah.
And they're having conversations on this documentary. The people that even actually created the bomb was part of the team creating the atomic bomb. They said we felt away. We felt away about, and that's history shows. It's like, did you have to do it? Because it was two bombs. They were working.
Yeah,
they were
one Osaka, one Nagasaki.
Right. And
Hiroshima,
right. Hiroshima, right. And then they had a third bomb, but they didn't do it. But the concept was, and I'm bringing it up because I'm just like, right now, then 80-90% of people, because the media was spinning it a certain way, was like, yeah, bomb them. Again, this is the time where United States was actually taking United States citizens that were Japanese and putting them in concentration camps.
Correct.
So the narrative was, oh yeah, bomb them, good, bomb them. I look at that situation, and I look now at the Ukraine war and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and I'm just like, same cycle. Okay, you got one group saying we're going to bomb this other group, and it's information too. It's like, what information coming out of Israel do you trust? It's like Israelis are like, yo, everything that comes out is true in terms of positivity, everything. But if it's negative, it's a lie. How?
I mean, the media is one of the most dangerous tools out there.
How? Of course, Netanyahu's going to sit back and be like, yes, there were no bombings of food locations. Of course, he's not going to say that. He's not going to say he purposely bombed a location where they were dropping food because he wanted to get rid of them. He's not going to say that, because that'd be a war crime.
Yeah, exactly.
So you stay neutral if you want, or you choose a side if you want, and then you go from there. Me, Denny Blanco, I'm Switzerland, baby. Y'all have at it. I don't like war. I like peace, whatever comes to it, and I'm gonna stay there. So come on this side if you enjoy it.
I'm with you, brother. Man, what a good podcast.